Chapter 16 Daivāsura Sampad Vibhāga Yoga, the Yoga of Discretion, Pious and Impious Natures. Verses 1 through 3. Bhagavan Sri Kṛṣṇa said, O Bharat, these are the various qualities of one who is born with a divine nature, Deva: fearlessness, pure-heartedness, absorption in spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, sincerity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, serenity, aversion to finding faults in others, compassion for all creatures, absence of avarice, gentleness, modesty, steadiness, valor, forgiveness, patience, cleanliness, freedom from envy and the desire for prestige. Verse 4. Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, cruelty, and ignorance. These are the qualities manifest in one born of an impious nature, Asura. Verse 5. The qualities of a Deva lead one to liberation, while the qualities of an Asura cause bondage. Fear not, O Pandava, for you are born of the nature of a Deva. Verse 6. Partha, there are two types of people born into this world, the Deva and the Asura. I have described Devas in detail. Now listen to me as I describe the Asuras. Anuvrtti. In this chapter, Sri Kṛṣṇa describes to Arjuna the two general categories of human beings, Devas and Asuras, or the pious and impious. Up to this point throughout the Gita, Kṛṣṇa has mentioned many of the qualities and characteristics of a Deva. These are the qualities of what we would call a good human being, and these qualities are also conducive for self-realization. These are described in verses 1 to 3 of this chapter. Now Kṛṣṇa begins to detail the qualities of the Asura, so that Arjuna can decide upon the path that he must take in life and the association he must choose. Ultimately, being able to discern between pious and impious natures, Arjuna will be able to perform the duties that lie ahead of him at Kurukshetra. Verse 7. Those who are Asuras by nature cannot discriminate as to what actions should be done and what actions should not be done. No purity, proper behavior, or truthfulness can be found in them. Verse 8. They claim that the world is false, without any basis and without any divinity. They believe that the source of everything is the union between male and female, and that life has no purpose besides lust. Verse 9. With this view, such people with depraved and small intellect flourish and engage in malicious activities for the destruction of the world. Verse 10. Attached to their insatiable lusty desires, and absorbed in pride and arrogance, such people become bewildered and embrace deceitful ideologies, pledging themselves to impure activities. Verses 11 and 12. Believing that slaking their greed and fulfilling their lusty desires is the ultimate goal of life, they undergo unlimited anxieties until the time of death. Bound by hundreds of ambitions and absorbed in lust and anger, they try to amass wealth by any unlawful means in order to satisfy their desires. Verses 13 through 15. They say, I have gained this today, now I shall fulfill my other desires. This wealth belongs to me, and in the future it will increase. This enemy has been slain by me, and in the future I will slay others. I am in control, I am the enjoyer, I am perfect, I am powerful, I am happy. I am wealthy and aristocratic. Is there anyone equal to me? I shall perform sacrifices, give in charity, and enjoy. Thus they are deluded by ignorance. Anuvrtti. The inability to discriminate between proper and improper actions is the first recognizable characteristic of an Asura. Additionally, Sri Kṛṣṇa says they do not know what is purity, proper behavior, or truthfulness. Truthfulness, cleanliness, austerity, and mercy are most desirable qualities for a human being, but these are totally lacking in one who has acquired the nature of an Asura. Sri Kṛṣṇa continues to describe in detail the qualities and characteristics of the Asura mentality, and if one takes careful note of what Kṛṣṇa is saying, then one is faced with the stark realization that the world we live in today is dominated by the thinking and activities of the Asuras. The structure of our world is now based on rampant consumerism, the shop-till-you-drop mentality. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. The if-it-feels-good-do-it mentality is everywhere. We are led to believe that there is no ultimate reality, that this one life is the all-in-all, and therefore we should enjoy it while it lasts. The fulfillment of the sexual lust of men and women being at the forefront of such enjoyment. The epitome of this is represented worldwide by the casual and legal acceptance of contraception and abortion. With the present mentality of the human being, it seems that the world is set on a path of destruction, with devastation of the environment, economic collapse, extinction of species, and even genocide of certain races of humans. Have we no eyes to see what is happening? Has the human race become so proud and arrogant of its achievements that it has become blind? Good government is essential in a civilized world. Such a government is for the purpose of safeguarding society from danger, not just from the danger of an invading army, but also from the threat of unwholesome ideologies that may destroy a civilization from within. Unfortunately, it seems as though governments worldwide have abandoned all sense of proper behavior, and they themselves have become the leading plunderers of the people, amassing wealth by any means and depriving the people from even the most basic necessities of life. Such despots know no shame. Indeed, the world is in a period of great darkness at the hands of the Asura mentality. From their high pulpits, the heads of state declare, "Our enemies must be killed, the evildoers must be defeated, we shall be victorious, we shall rule the world, we shall enjoy, we are the chosen people, we are powerful, we are happy, and none are our equals." And while the hysteria of the masses runs wild, the innocent are sent to their graves, and the earth weeps for her children. Yet it seems we are unfazed. Such, Kṛṣṇa says, is our ignorance. Verse 16. The minds of the Asuras are full of various bewildering thoughts, and thus they are ensnared in a network of illusion. As they become absorbed in fulfilling their mundane desires, they descend into a foul abyss. Verse 17. Full of self-importance, stubborn, and intoxicated with their wealth, they perform sacrifices in name only that are against the rules of Dharma. Verse 18. Surrendering to egotism, power, pride, lust, and anger, such people hate me, who is situated in their own bodies and the bodies of others. Verse 19. Such envious and cruel persons are perpetually born among the impious and unrighteous, where they suffer in the repeated cycle of birth and death, for they are the lowest of all mankind. Verse 20. O Kaunteya, continually taking birth amongst the impious, such foolish persons never attain me, rather they fall to the most abominable destinations. Verse 21. There are 3 paths leading to the lower planets and self-destruction: lust, anger, and greed. Thus these 3 must be abandoned, because they are the great destroyers of self-realization. Verse 22. O Kaunteya, one who is free from these 3 paths of darkness acts in his best interest. He gradually reaches the supreme abode. Verse 23. He that neglects the rules of the Vedas in order to satisfy his material desires never attains perfection, happiness, or the supreme abode. Verse 24. The Vedic injunctions are your authority pertaining to what is to be done and what is not to be done. Thus, realizing your duty in this world, you should act accordingly. Anuvrtti. Ultimately, there is no happiness, no success, no well-being, nor advancement in self-realization when one follows the path of the Asura. What then should be done? Sri Kṛṣṇa identifies the 3 main characteristics of the Asura mentality in verse 21 as Kama, Krodha, and Lobha, lust, anger, and greed. These are indeed the cause of great misfortune amongst all living beings, and such are the destroyers of self-realization. Therefore, lust, anger, and greed must be conquered by one who wants to make progress in human life. To triumph over the great enemies of lust, anger, and greed, one must apply oneself diligently to controlling the senses and perform the prescribed activities in bhakti yoga known as sadhana. The practice of sadhana is learned from the guru, a tattvadarshi who has seen the truth, and the guru instructs the student according to their ability and present stage of advancement. To this end, the guru will advise all students in bhakti yoga to chant the Mahamantra and fix the mind upon Sri Kṛṣṇa. This process is purifying and beneficial to everyone, regardless of one's being a novice or being very advanced. Everyone should engage in chanting the Mahamantra to defeat the enemies of lust, anger, and greed, and to dispel the ignorance and darkness of the age of Kali Yuga. Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarvapapa Pranashanam Pranamo Dukha Shamanas Tam Namami Harim Param. Translation: the chanting of the Mahamantra can relieve us from all undesirable habits, all unwanted characteristics, and all miseries. Chant the Mahamantra. Nothing else is necessary. Chant the Mahamantra and begin your real life in this dark age of Kali Yuga with the most broad and wide theistic conception. Let us all bow down to Sri Kṛṣṇa. From the Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Tat Sat. Thus ends Chapter 16, entitled Daivāsura Sampad Vibhāga Yoga, from the conversation between Sri Kṛṣṇa and Arjuna in the Upanishad known as Srimad Bhagavad-gītā, the Yoga Shastra of divine knowledge, from the Bhishma Parva of Mahabharata, the literature revealed by Vyas in 100,000 verses.